Hey everyone, it's Casey with Park Mountain Machine. Today I'm excited to tell you about our new blog that you'll see on our website. And our first post is going to be painting our RD15 LPR by Ridgeline Defense. We recently took a class at Ridgeline. Everyone was kind of excited of how we paint our rifles, similar to what we have here, Justin's LPR. And today we're going to jump in on how we got Jared's LPR painted. Alright, so let's get Justin's gun up out of the way. And then here's Jared's rifle that we'll be painting today. First things first, let's make sure this thing's clear and safe. We'll go ahead, got an empty mag. We'll paint that as well. And we're clear. So we'll just take off like any items we don't want painted. For instance, we'll be taking off the suppressor and the Edgar Sherman design sling. That's out of the way. Put the mag back in. Good and safe. We'll dive into getting it cleaned and taping off any areas that we don't want painted. All right, we'll jump into getting the rifle clean. It's up to you if you want to do a really thorough clean to get any oils and dirt off. That'll make the paint adhere to the metal a lot better. But for Jared's gun, we're just gonna clean her up. So I'm gonna lay this guy down. For cleaning, we have just some simple green and water. And just some white paper towels. Now I'm going to be spraying the cleaning material onto the actual paper towel. If I spray it onto the rifle, the water is going to get inside some of the cracks and then slowly seep out. If you don't let it dry enough, it's going to come out through the paint and the paint will not stick. So we'll just go ahead and spray it on the rag. And then we'll just give it a good old wipe down. It's kind of clean, so you should let Jared know he should probably shoot his gun a little bit more. All right, we're gonna go over the products we'll be using to paint this rifle. First off, we're using Rust-Oleum paint. I've got primer here. We've got the brown. It is the earth brown camouflage from Rust-Oleum. Forest green, khaki, and over here we've got army green products that we're using. Some of the paint brushes, this is a little bit of a different paint from, I guess, what you might be traditional seeing. We'll be using some of these paint brushes to paint the rifle, just break up any kind of sharp lines. We got some Scotch tape. We're gonna mask off areas we do not want painted. Pair of scissors if we need to cut out some of the tape in kind of fine areas. And then you guys saw the simple green that we used and a paper towel to wipe down the rifle. So those are products we'll be using. All right, we're gonna go over masking this rifle. We're gonna mask off items that we do not want painted, so we still have visual reference of what the rifle is giving us for feedback. And for instance, that's gonna be the turrets. We wanna mask off the turrets, all the numbers that are on there. Even for the zoom, we wanna make sure Jared is able to see what zoom he's in. And any kind of witness mark that he has for his scope. We'll get that taped up for him as well. We'll also tape up the muzzle device. This is a tapered fit. We do not want to put any paint on that taper, so we'll go ahead and tape that up. And we'll tape up the trigger as well. Just don't want any paint on that. And we'll keep the stock where it's at. When we paint it, it's gonna have a nice defined line of where Jared likes his stock. So if he needs to move it, he'll see that defined line and then he'll move it right back. So we don't need to mask off any of that. So, and then obviously these they're caps optics, but we'll go ahead and still tape on the inside just to prevent any kind of overspray going inside the lens. So we'll still tape up on the inside to prevent that. Same with the top dot. We'll get that masked off on the inside and just close the caps. So we'll jump into that now. All right, rifle is fully masked up, ready for paint. All right, so we'll jump in and getting the base coat down. I'm using the deep forest green for our base coat. I'll get this rifle stored flat. And we'll just go ahead and get the base coat down. Now, you can have a light coat or a heavy coat. The light coat will wear out a whole lot faster. The heavier coat will last longer, and it won't wear off where you see the black coating on there. So we're just gonna do a mix in between. I like to start with the harder to get areas, the edges. That'll kind of prevent any kind of running. We're just kind of going light, spraying it. Let it dry up for a little bit before just flipping it back over and doing the other side. It's up to you guys if you want to have it completely dry before flipping it over. If it's not completely dry, there's a possibility where the paint will kind of not stick to it and kind of stick to this cardboard. But we're just gonna go ahead and flip it over. It's still a little tacky, but it's all right. The paint that we'll be doing, you won't be able to see it at all. Flip this guy over. And do this side. Same thing, we'll get all the hard to reach areas first, all the cracks and all the corners, and then we'll just lay it over the top. Get inside the stock, there's a lot of corners in there. Side pod. Top of the scope again. Try to get inside that pick rail. And then the little receiver. Trigger guard a little bit. I'm taking out. Got most of the corners. And just go ahead and lay it on, press top. Kind of walking that wet paint line out to your end spot. Kind of see that wet paint. Get some more stock. Looks good enough for me. Like I said, we'll be doing a bunch of other layers as well. But there's our base coat. We'll let this dry for a little bit, and we'll start adding our next coat. So we'll let this rifle dry for about 5 to 10 minutes before we apply our next coat. And for our next coat, we'll be using the khaki color and a paintbrush. We've got this wide fan paintbrush, and I sprayed some paint inside the cup, and I will use this to just dab around the rifle to kind of break up any kind of sharp lines, straight lines, to kind of break up the look of a rifle using this, because it's just a bunch of fine bristles. So before I go and dab the rifle, I like to get off any kind of excessive paint, because it's just going to glob down onto there. So I'll just kind of dab a little bit onto the cardboard, get it good. We'll add some more paint, dry it up a little bit, spray it into this cup. And I'll start by doing just like painting the base coat on all the corners and hard to get areas. And after that, then I'll come over the top and just fill the flat areas from blending the hard points to the face, just blend it in. It'll look pretty good from there. And honestly, the pattern that you do is honestly all up to you. There's no like method to this madness. It's just what you like, is what your preference is. We'll go ahead and start with this khaki color. Now that we got the khaki color down, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the earth brown color for our next step. We're gonna be applying the same method, but instead of the tight pattern we have going on here, we're gonna break it up a little bit more of a bigger pattern. So we'll just go ahead and get our paint cup ready. There's our brown. We'll let this dry for a few minutes. The last color I'm going to apply is just some Rust-Oleum primer, the spray primer. And just like the other ones with the paintbrush. But like the brown, I'm going to break it up even more. So just very small areas I'll apply it. And that's it for the primer. Now that we let the rifle dry a little bit, we'll go ahead and unmask all the tape we have applied and check out the finished product. Everything's good. There's no overspray where we wanted it. Here's the final product.